You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Fans with Attitude, the live talk show by sports fans for sports fans. You've seen First Take Undisputed. Well, this show's just like that with a little added feature. You can comment in the live YouTube chat below, and we'll see it. We'll comment. We'll probably laugh at it. But yeah, let's get right into it. Just let us know if you want anything to discuss or if we miss anything. You know, free agency is really big right now. I've got it even pulled up on my laptop. So if there's anything we miss, please let us know, because I love all this stuff, and so does Drew. But make sure you like, subscribe, join the Attitude Era, and follow the fan base of the FWA. Turn on your notifications to see when we go live. Now let's get started.
Yes, sir.
So before we go into the big meat of the show, pause. The Warriors, man, are they the team to worry about in the West? Because they lost to the Phoenix Suns. You know, the Rockets are kind of up there. The Thunder. I mean, my boy Paul George is playing like an MVP. So, you know, do you think that the Warriors are the top team to beat in the Western Conference right now?
Honestly, look, like, I don't want to look stupid and be like, oh, no, like, the Warriors are, like, total trash now. So, although I'm going to go ahead and say, no, they are not the team to beat in the West, I don't think we can, like, count them out, you know? Like, I still think they'll flip the switch. Yeah, I think they'll flip the switch. They'll, you know, somehow get themselves back into the finals. Because, like, last year we all thought, you know, they weren't the team to beat. And Houston basically proved that until they didn't. And then, I mean, the Nuggets are just playing out of their mind right right now. So, I mean, I definitely would flip the, you know, I think the Nuggets are one of the toughest teams. Yeah, flip the switch, exactly. Like, they're one of the toughest teams to play because of the, you know, Nikola Jokic, everything he's doing, Jamal Murray. I mean, they've just got the perfect combination of youth and talent in Denver right now, and the Warriors are really kind of off their game. So I would say definitely the Nuggets are more so the team to beat than the Warriors.
Yeah, I agree with you there that the Warriors maybe aren't the team to beat right now. They're not the number one seed in the West. But again, you can't count a team out with 5 All-Stars. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 All-Stars. There's no way you can count those guys out. You know, the Rockets are playing at a high level, and in the latest NBA poll, they're the second ranked team in the NBA. So I think the Rockets and the Thunder and the Nuggets, those are the 3 teams that you need to be scared of. If I were the Warriors, those are the 3 teams I'd be scared of. But in a 7-game series, I don't really know, you know, how the Warriors are going to perform. You know, if that unit cohesion is there, because Draymond Green and Steve Kerr, man, they're kind of getting into it. You know, people thought that Steve Kerr said he was so sick and tired of Draymond's stuff, but he came out and said that's not what he said. But man, that team is not doing, I think, as everybody else thought they would. But again, can't ever count those guys out.
Oh, for sure.
But speaking of guys you can count out, the Lakers, they suck. Trash, garbage, all right? But a guy that they just brought back, fan favorite, Andre Ingram, he just signed a 10-day contract. So shout out to him first and foremost, because that dude has been living his dream playing in the G League and whatnot for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, was he like 31, and he only played, and his only time playing in the NBA was what, that little stretch last year with the Lakers?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, the dude's got gray hairs, so you know that's how you know he's stressed out. But you know, signing a guy like that from your G League team, especially after you've had some injuries and whatnot, do you think that the Lakers should shut down LeBron for the rest of the year?
See, that is a little dilemma for me, because, like, in terms of, like, the basic fact that they're not making the playoffs, they're playing like crap regardless. I don't see the reason in risking, him getting hurt in some meaningless game, and then having an effect on the beginning of next year. I don't see a point in it. But at the same time, LeBron comes over in the offseason, high expectations for this team. Clearly, they didn't perform to what they should have. And, fans at this point are only going to the games because LeBron James is there. And if you bench him for the rest of the year, it's almost like a disservice. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's almost screwing over the fans that go there at this point just to see LeBron playing. So just for the sake of him not getting hurt and then making a run next year, yeah, I think they should shut him down.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you that the fans would be pissed off. Personally, I don't think LeBron would even listen to Luke Walton. He'd be like, LeBron, you're not playing the rest of the year. And LeBron would be like, no, dude, shut up. So do I think they should shut him down? I mean, they can try. I don't think they will. Magic Johnson likes the guy too much. LeBron loves playing too much, especially because I think he'll probably want to play with Andre Ingram, but I don't think LeBron's going to have a good time playing, especially because his team's not going to make the playoffs. It's going to hurt his legacy, but it would hurt him as a person even more to get benched. Well, not benched, but, shut down for the remainder of the year.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
also it could factor into tanking, the Lakers trying to get an even higher draft pick, shutting down LeBron. I mean, that's a really big deal. So, no, I don't think they should shut him down because LeBron's proven that he's able to take care of himself and stay healthy. And all that stuff throughout his career. I mean, you compare him in the debate with Jordan. The one thing Michael did battle with is a couple of season-ending injuries, or that harbored him. He broke his ankle, I think, early on in his career, and then I want to say he had an injury after he came back from baseball too. But I think they don't shut him down. That's just overall, it's just bad luck. But kind of moving on, Eastern Coast, Detroit, the Pistons, man. They've been killing it lately. I think they've won their past 5 games.
Yeah, they're in 6 now in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I saw a thing on Bleacher Report. Andre Drummond is averaging something crazy. Him and Blake are on a tear. And asked a question, and I found this very interesting. Are they the best big man duo in the league?
Just off the top of my head, just thinking about it, yes, last year, before any injuries happened, it was definitely AD and Boogie Cousins.
Fire and ice, baby.
That was a disgusting front court duo there. But, I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, and, by a long shot, because, there's not a lot of centers left in the league like Andre Drummond who play that traditional role. I'm sure you saw that video of him trying to shoot the step back 3 and didn't go his way.
That was like me doing a step back 3.
Exactly. But Blake Griffin has truly flourished as a player. He literally can do it all now. He used to just be that typical post up, throw a posterizing dunk on you type thing. He can do it all now. So I think with his combination of skills that he's developed, along with Andre Drummond's ability to just manhandle anyone inside and anchor the defense and just get a ton of rebounds. I don't see how you could say there's a better front court duo than that.
Yeah, I agree. There's not big men in the league anymore, and it hurts me. I guess you could say that you have Karl Anthony Towns, or not Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons because he's 6'10". But Ben Simmons has to play like a big man because his jump shot is broken than mine. It's terrible. So I guess that could be anybody who could rival them. But other than that, I don't see anybody. Outside of I literally cannot think of 2 dominant big men.
Yeah.
I guess maybe nothing. I got nothing. Those 2 guys are so good down low, and that they can open up the space for Reggie Jackson and whoever else the Pistons have. I don't even know. That's how good those guys are.
They don't even have Reggie Jackson anymore. Reggie Jackson's actually on the Thunder. Or wait.
Oh. No, he's not.
No, he's not. I'm thinking of Dennis Schroeder. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Is it Reggie Jackson? I don't even know.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
Reggie Jackson's the point guard for the Pistons.
That's right.
But,
My bad.
those two guys have been playing so good that I don't even know who's on the Pistons right now. So,
yeah,
I agree with you there that they're the best duo in the league.
Yeah.
But now is the time for the money to come out. NFL free agency. Some guys have been securing the flipping bag today, man. You got Nick Foles, Landon Collins, Quan Alexander, Mitch Morse, Tyrann Mathieu just got signed, Justin Coleman, Malik Jackson. Those guys have been securing the bag.
Yes,
What do you think?
Well, I think first off, shout out to their agents for getting it done for them. But I mean, it's just the thing is, and to clarify with with all the fans, so the way free agency works, Wednesday is when the official free agency period starts. That's when players who have an expiring contract and all these deals that have been announced right now for those that were on an expiring contract, that's when they're officially signed to their deal. Like right now, everything is just like finalized. But anyone like Danny Amendola, Justin Houston, those kind of players who were cut by their team, they're actually like signed. Like they were allowed to sign officially before that day. It's called the open tampering period. So that is how free agency works. Just for anyone who didn't know, I actually learned that today, so I felt like sharing.
I learned it just now, so thank you.
Yeah. So I just want to point out that Nick Foles, Landon Collins, Trent Brown. I mean,
Justin Coleman, I guess.
Who?
Justin Coleman, because
Justin Coleman. I mean, Quan Alexander. I mean, all of these guys, man. They just truly secured the bag after, again, Nick Foles is a guy that only really played in the playoffs for the Eagles. And he goes out and gets this fat 4-year, $88 million contract, $50 million guaranteed. I saw our boy Barry McCockner even tweeted about this one, and he, for a guy that typically is a big fan of BDN, I'll leave you to figure out what that means there. He was not
Eagles
thrilled.
Fans know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you were not. He was not thrilled with the deal because he said this is a guy that's only started 11, never started more than 11 games in the season, and now he's getting $88 million. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, I respect the guy, Super Bowl MVP. He really leads that team. They kind of, get hype around him. The Eagles did, is what I meant. So maybe the Jaguars will be able to do the same thing and get back on track next year. So
yeah.
I want to see what you have to say about
Nick Foles. To me, is kind of in the Sam Bradford boat. Not saying he's anything close to the terrible quarterback that Sam Bradford is, but he's getting a lot of money and hasn't played that many games.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, Sam Bradford never played a full 16-game season, and neither has Nick Foles. He's getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. What is $22 million a year?
Yeah,
for a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
$50 million guaranteed for a backup quarterback. Like, I get he's a starting quarterback now, but they just paid Blake Bortles. I would have, get rid of Blake Bortles before I signed Nick Foles to that dummy contract. So, I mean, yeah, it's a good move for the Jags, but they overpaid. And overpaying is the theme of the free agency period this year, man.
Of course.
Speaking of overpaid as hell, Landon Collins.
Yeah.
I looked at his market value today on this website. Said he was supposed to, his market value was about around $8.59 million a year. I thought that was a little low. I probably would have put him at 10 or 11. The Washington Redskins valued him at $14 million a year. Signed him to a 6-year contract, $84 million with $45 million guaranteed.
Yep,
that is a
highest contract ever for a safety, by the way.
First of all, I wouldn't want to live in Washington, D.C. for that long. So I don't know why you did that.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's not the best safety in the league. Why is he getting paid like it?
Again, and this is same thing for a guy like Trent Brown, and I'm not hating on these guys in any way.
Of course, I'm all for these guys getting the bag.
But they're benefiting from a weak free agency market for their specific positions. Like offensive tackles, it really was Trent Brown and everyone else, and then safeties, it was Landon Collins. I mean, yeah, you had Tyrann Mathieu in there as well.
Earl Thomas, LaMarcus Joyner. I think the thing with Landon Collins as opposed to Trent Brown was the fact that Landon Collins was the youngest guy out of this.
Yeah, I was gonna say he benefited.
Young, big hitter,
youth.
4 Pro Bowls. Okay,
yeah.
and his hype train just kept building and building and building till it got past the Packers' bidding point. I mean, it hit past the reservation price. Nobody thought. I mean, it's because the Washington Redskins do not have a franchise quarterback that they are paying right now. They have Case Keenum, backup quarterback, in my opinion. But that's why. I mean, teams like Washington, Oakland. Well, I don't know how Oakland has that much money, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's because they didn't sign Khalil Mack. That's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these teams that don't have like that big money guy, like the Rams have with Aaron Donald, or now the Bears have with Khalil Mack, Packers have Aaron Rodgers. Except outside of New England, it's all these low ball teams that are like, oh, we gotta, get this guy. He's gonna reinvigorate the franchise, and then, you never know.
Yeah. Well, and I just wanted to point out that literally, I mean, these teams, who is it now? We got speaking on behalf of the Patriots, what I mean, you got the Lions now, you got the Dolphins and Titans, all basically have now mirrored their franchises with New England. It's literally just New England West, New England South. I mean, it's all
New England Central.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these teams, and I get it. Like Trey Flowers, buddy, you deserve the contract. I'm not saying that. Did Detroit maybe overpay for him because they're like, oh, well, he played for New England and he'll, really change our defense? Most likely. I don't know if he's going to perform to that level that his contract is, which is 5-year, upwards of $17 million a year. And then, I mean, the Dolphins go and sign Dwayne Allen. Not a huge signing, but again, New England Patriot, now in Miami. I think it's just Bill Belichick has to just be sitting back right now and just smiling, which he's never does.
The millions he saved. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's just ecstatic with all these teams overspending, and he's gonna go out, make these little moves here and there, and probably bring that team, to be, winning the division and all that crap again, because he's not making the mistakes that some of these other teams are.
Kind of one of my favorite signings so far is Quan Alexander to San Francisco. That's a good one. He is probably, I want to say, the highest inside linebacker getting money right now.
He is. He's actually the highest of all time.
Won't be for long after C.J. Mosley gets signed.
Yeah.
But Quan Alexander, I mean, San Francisco needs him. They had Reuben Foster, didn't pan out, did some things off the field that I'd rather not get into. He's gone. So, they had to shore up that, interior defense, because with Tank Carradine, DeForest Buckner, I mean, that's a pretty solid defense. You got to get some secondary guys. But, that team is especially on the rise with Jimmy G, Kittle. I mean, they're going to be a dangerous team. Yep. Again, I don't believe that they will be the team like everybody thought they were going to be. I said it this year. I didn't think they were going to be, and I was right. So, I think people overhype it, but this is a good start for them. They didn't get Antonio Brown, but this is a good move because he's getting $13 million a year, but for a guy who's 25 and played on the Buccaneers and was one of the two or three good defenders on that team.
I'm gonna say, it's like him and Gerald McCoy and like
Vontae David.
Yeah,
and I guess you could say 3.5 good defenders because Jason Pierre-Paul only has like 7 fingers. So another Buffalo low key has been signing really well. Mitch Morse, he just secured the bag for a center. I mean, 27 years old. He's gonna make $11 million a year.
Wow.
For a center.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But big name guy just got signed. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey
Badger.
Honey Badger. Was it 3 years, $42 million, which comes out to $14 million a year.
Yeah.
What do you think of it? What do you think of this one to Kansas City?
Well, first off, I think it's a great move for them. They definitely were in dire need of a defensive stalwart, so to speak. And yes, Tyrann Mathieu has battled injuries basically his whole career. But he had a pretty good year with the Houston Texans this past year, and I think it's like as long as he's playing alongside Eric Berry. I mean, I'm sure Berry doesn't have many more years left. He definitely seems like he's near the end of his career. But at least for this coming season, that duo is going to be pretty scary for opposing defense. Because or for opposing offenses, because they both can like guard multiple positions. I mean, if they got to go out and guard a tight end, they can. If they need to guard a running back or anything really, I mean, they can kind of do it all from the safety position. And I mean, I think it was a great move for them. I didn't expect it, but it's definitely a need that they had, and it's good that they went out and did it.
Oh, yeah. Your dad wants to know if Martellus Bennett's coming back. I hope he doesn't come back. He screwed over this team right here. He signed him to a fat freaking contract. No, he didn't. We only signed him for like a year. But he sucked, and I had high hopes for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't heard any more on it. I haven't heard any more news on it, but we can assume that it more than likely will happen.
All I got to say to that is screw you, Marty B. All right. Next up, Adam Humphries. I know you wanted to get him to go to the Patriots.
Yeah.
But Detroit's second big move, Justin Coleman, another former Patriot.
Former Patriot, yes, sir.
I mean, this dude's getting 4 years, $36 million, $9 million a year.
$9 million a year to be a nickel cornerback. So I know you said, we talked about this earlier, and you said the nickel is becoming an ever more important position in the NFL. So if you want to talk on that a little bit.
So if you don't know what a nickel corner is, it's basically your third cornerback. It's somebody who typically lines up in the slot. He'll cover your slot receiver because slot receivers are typically smaller, quicker, and so your nickel cornerbacks. Justin Coleman is a premier nickel cornerback. Nickel Roby-Coleman, everybody knows him from the Saints play where he interfered so bad. Didn't get called for it, but he's a nickel cornerback. He's about 5'8", real fast, good hands off the line, good man-to-man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's becoming more important because these offenses in particular are running with 3 wide receivers more and more. You got your trip set where, if you run man coverage, you bring the other corner off the other side, or, you twins left, single right. That's where you need your nickel corners, especially because a lot of teams have a good slot wide receiver. Or if a team like, now the Oakland Raiders want to line up Antonio Brown inside, you got to have a guy to cover it because, or they take top corner, Darius Slay, they have him, man up on that top receiver. Well, they got to have a third corner if they got trips. You don't want that third guy to be just a bailout, I'll throw at him every time. So that's why a nickel corner is so important. Do I think this guy is worth $9 million a year? No.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I don't agree with it either.
And I'll talk more on the Lions later, but that's the theme of this so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Overpaying. I mean, guys, teams are just shooting money. Excuse my language. Shooting money out the ass. It's ridiculous. A team that's made some low-key moves and made a big splash this morning when I saw it. Philadelphia signed Malik Jackson for 3 years, $30 million, $10 million a year for a guy who's 29 years old. What do you think?
Well, what I think is here's my problem. This is a guy that he helped win a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 50. Goes to Jacksonville, and he was playing really good up until this past year where he was eventually benched. I can't remember who stepped up in his place, but basically he became an afterthought on basically a miserable team compared to the expectations. So I think the Eagles at this point are gambling in a sense that they're hoping he can get back to the form that he was once playing in. But at the same time, think they were a little over like trigger happy almost on it because again, he was benched this past year, and who's to say he will get back to that prior form? And at that point, you're really overpaying for that just to boost your defensive line.
Sorry, there's a fly.
You're good.
So, I mean, the Eagles as a whole, they just signed Deshaun Jackson.
No, they went all out, yeah.
What would you say Deshaun Jackson was going to get, like $12 million a year?
No, not 12. It was I believe they restructured his contract to like 3-year, $27 million. So
okay,
9.
So not too bad. Deshaun Jackson's a little older, but on this signing of Malik Jackson, I mean, I was probably for Taven Bryan, the defensive tackle out of Florida, to get him some reps because the team was terrible.
Yeah.
And they already have Marcel Darius, Calais Campbell's getting older, and Yannick Ngakoue, young stud out of Maryland. Shout out to him. He's a beast. But Philadelphia, I think, is so obsessed with that front four that they'll do anything to kind of keep it at the highest level. Because Fletcher Cox, I mean, he's top 3 best defensive tackle in football. I mean, him, Aaron Donald, and I can't even think of another one right now. I mean, in all honesty, that Fletcher Cox is a monster. And then now they have Brandon Graham on the left side and Derek Barnett on the right side to replace Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
So that front four is scary. But I think they overpaid, especially because they're probably going to lose what's his name? Darby?
Yep.
Yeah, Ronald Darby. They're going to lose him. I definitely would have I think they should have signed Justin Coleman with that money instead of paying an older guy a crap ton of money, for not much production. But because the defensive line, the interior line of this free agency is rather weak, he got some big money.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, Jamison Crowder to the Jets. I like that move. I'll let you talk about this one.
About the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't made the big, home run move that I've expected, for Le'Veon Bell or another top-tier free agent. Because they are, I believe, one of the top teams with the most cap space for this offseason. Also, they're looking to trade their draft pick. I believe they haven't found a trade partner yet. So I was expecting a splash, and they haven't done it yet. But granted, getting a guy like Jamison Crowder, that's a solid move for them. They need weapons for Sam Darnold to have any chance at being a true franchise quarterback. So this is a guy that had been playing, fairly well with the Washington Redskins. Granted, quarterback situation has been all over the place, really, especially with that Alex Smith injury. So he's made the most of that situation there, and I think he'll become their, him and alongside, Robbie Anderson and Quincy Enunwa. I mean,
Jermaine
Kearse, which I think is still under contract this year. I'm not 100% sure on him. But, I mean, now they've got some solid receivers. And, I mean, so now it's almost like there's not an excuse. Like, you've got to perform now. You've got some weapons around you. And then they also went out and I don't know if you already mentioned it or not, but they traded with the Raiders and got
Kelechi Osemele.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pronounce it. But, yes, they got is it guard or tackle?
Guard. He's an
offensive guard. Yeah, I mean, so they're boosting that O-line too to make sure that Sam Darnold stays upright. He's obviously not a mobile quarterback. So I think the Jets are making some good moves, even though obviously I'm not pulling for them to make good moves, but they are. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. They're making some good moves for that team, and I think they'll be able to, improve from last year for sure, and still possible that they go out and make a big move.
Yeah, I think Jamison Crowder, he's disgusting in the slot. First of all, he's a Madden glitch, first and foremost. But no, I think he can potentially be like the fail-safe guy for Sam Darnold, especially because Robbie Anderson, he's big. He's about 6'3", he's really fast, but he just doesn't have the surest hands. Jamison Crowder is that kind of small, elusive guy that, the Julian Edelman per se, that, he should be able to fail-safe too. But, yeah, I got to give credit to the Jets. They've been making some good moves. Kenny Vaccaro re-signed with the Titans, 4 years, $6.5 million a year with $11.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think that's a ridiculous deal to me. That, a guy who's, he's pretty good at filling the box, but he's never been that zone guy that he should be.
Yeah.
They have Kevin Byard, who's that dude is a top tier free safety.
He is gonna get a huge contract whenever that time comes.
I think it's next year.
Yeah.
Because he's under his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
But Kevin Byard, top tier zone coverage safety. So, Vaccaro coming down the box, he is good. Do I think he's worth $11.5 million guaranteed? Absolutely not.
No, I just think Mike Vrabel, and I'm not saying just because of Kenny Vaccaro, but just in general with that secondary, Mike Vrabel is really going all out, putting a lot of trust in these guys. And I guess the GM too. I'm not sure who that is, but he's spent a lot of money now on these guys. He went out and got Logan Ryan in free agency, went out and got Malcolm Butler in free agency, and now he's extending Kenny Vaccaro too. That's a lot of money going towards the secondary. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Byard situation, because I definitely think he's the best out of those four guys I mentioned. But it'll be interesting to see how the money plays out, because they put a lot of money into these other guys.
Yeah. I already said my piece on him. But now a guy who, again, I think got overpaid, not really too bad, maybe a couple million over, but Robert Alford. Arizona has been making some moves too. They've signed a couple guys that we'll get into in a minute. But Robert Alford, picked off Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, which
Pick 6.
created probably the worst attempted tackle I have ever seen in my life. And I think that's the reason he got that fat contract.
Yeah.
Because, him and Desmond Trufant this year were just not that good. He's 30 years old, $7.5 million. And again, this guy is getting $13.5 million guaranteed at 30 years old. You're set for life, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a ridiculous contract. Bobby Hart re-signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. But kind of a thing that is interesting to me is Cincinnati had kind of 3 tight ends. They re-signed C.J. Uzomah. Tyler Eifert, I believe, is a free agent right now, too.
Yep, he's on the market.
They just lost, which I think the guy was the best one out of them was Tyler Kroft.
Mm-hmm.
He signed to Buffalo. Buffalo's made some good moves.
I was going to say, the AFC East in general has had a great day, other than the Patriots. But all they've done, again, they're a team that sits back and waits till the end of free agency anyways. So they're doing what's best for them, and then all these other teams are, doing they're all, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets have all made some great moves today.
Yeah, well, Dolphins, I don't know about that. But yeah, so again, Tyler Kroft went to Buffalo. They signed Spencer Long. They signed 2 centers. I just realized this. They signed Spencer Long, who was the center for the Jets. They signed him 12 years, 3 years, or 12 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
$12 million, $44 million a year. And then they paid Mitch Morse, a crap ton.
Yeah.
So the interior line in Buffalo is getting good for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But it makes me think that, they're probably going to deal Shady McCoy because, you shore up that interior line. They got Deion Dawkins on the right, Cordy Glenn on the left. That offensive line, it's getting there, man. It should be a solid one. But I think they're probably going to get younger. Josh Allen, you got to give him time in the pocket,
Yeah.
Because if you force that dude to make throws, he's got such a big arm. He's prone to overthrowing and missing. So, give him time in the pocket. It'll help him develop as a passer. I know our roommate Mike is happy to see this guy go. Buster Skrine signed with the Bears. This dude got overpaid. 3 years, $16 million, $5.5 million a year.
Oh, man, I got roasted. I just saw that.
Buster Skrine sucks.
But I was worse, according to my father. I was worse. Shout out Middle Creek High School.
Oh, man. That was a gold. So if anybody saw that, when Drew live.
We'll get the clip up for you guys sometime.
Eventually. But yeah, Buster Screen sucks, but obviously Drew Piscaro at cornerback is not worth $5 million a year. Sorry, Drew.
I think I am.
Yeah, I mean Eric Weddle signed from the Ravens to the Rams, but that's kind of old news. But he's one of those guys you were talking about that got cut, so he signed immediately.
Exactly, yeah.
But one that I just saw that pulled up, good move. Devin Funchess is going to the Colts.
Wow.
1 year, $10 million.
That's actually a really good move for them because I mean they it seems like they've been doing a really good job with like with Eric Ebron. They find him from the Lions, right?
Yes.
I mean he was not very good with the Lions to say the least. I mean he was piss poor actually. Goes to the Colts. Don't really expect much, and I mean he had a fantastic year.
Yeah.
Really emerged as a true, pass catching tight end. And nothing tells me that Devin Funchess can't do the same. It's just he needs to not follow the same route as his, I think they were teammates at one point.
Yeah.
Kelvin Benjamin, because
Big Mac away from being a tight end.
Exactly, because I mean all I've been hearing about Devin Funchess from 2 years ago he was playing really good. He was their number one guy. This past year, I was hearing a lot of negative stuff about him. He's getting kind of big. He's not as fast, and I was getting Kelvin Benjamin vibes. So he just needs to be careful with that. But I think the Colts, that's a winning move right there. They get another piece on that offense. They've already got Nyheim Hines and I think Marlon Mack in the backfield, and then Eric Ebron and Devin Funchess, that's going to be fun to watch. That's two big guys for Luck to throw downfield too.
Yeah, they got that big wide receiver out wide to complement T.Y. Hilton.
And I forgot they have T.Y. Hilton. Exactly, yeah.
And, I mean, they nailed the draft pick with Quentin Nelson. The offensive line went from literally the worst in the league to top 5. I don't know how they did it, but
Quentin Nelson screaming intimidates people.
Please go watch that. Quentin Nelson, mic'd up, is one of the funnier ones because he literally just pulls and screams as he annihilates somebody. That's a good one. But yeah, the Colts are definitely on the rise. I like that move a lot. When I saw it pop up, I was like, "Ooh, that's rather interesting."
Yep.
Dwayne Allen, NFC East kind of dispersing Patriots employees and players and whatnot. But yeah, there's that. Interesting move here. The Bears pick up Mike Davis from the Seahawks. He's 26 years old, got 2 years, $6 million, $3 million a year. So, what do you think about that move?
I mean, to me, that just sounds like a low risk, high reward type thing. You said he's $3 million a year, correct? 2
years. 2 years.
2 years, $6 million. Yeah, so I mean, not a bad signing for them. It's interesting only because Chicago. Wait, I'm sorry, I'm getting messed up here. It's Seattle to Chicago, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Chicago already is. They've got Cohen. They've got Jordan Howard. So I mean, the backfield to me is already kind of established to begin with. So, I mean, I think this is just like another complementary piece, in case of injuries or just to control the snap count, stuff like that. I think it's a solid move for them. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, but it's, again, just adding depth to that position.
See, I'm going to counter that with I think this signals the end of Jordan Howard.
Oh, you think so?
I think this because you could see Matt Nagy not really use Jordan Howard at all, especially as Tariq Cohen. I mean, shout out that dude. He's a beast.
Yeah, he
from
is.
Right here in Greensboro, North Carolina. A&T, never been there. If you know what A&T is, you know why. But, I mean, that dude's a baller. And Matt Nagy kind of moved away from using Jordan Howard. I think bringing in Mike Davis, who's a hard running back, but he's faster and he can do more out of freaking fly. He can do more out of the backfield than Jordan Howard can. I think that kind of signals at least to me, that they are looking to move Jordan Howard. Danny Amendola signed with the Lions.
I was going to talk about that one.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I see the deal 1 year, and it's up. He can get up to $5.75 million if you factor in his incentives. I think again the Lions, or that's just to me with the Lions. It seems like they overpaid for him. That's basically what he was making with the Dolphins, because last year he signed a 2 years, $12 million deal, $6 million per year, which obviously he didn't even make it past the first year. So I feel like this is a case of the Lions overpaying a little bit because he has New England Patriots ties in his past, and was successful there as well. But I still think he can perform. Like, I don't think this past season was a representation of what he still has left in the tank. But again, $5.75 million is a little much when, like we were talking about earlier, a guy like Julian Edelman's making like $3 to $4 million per year and is out there performing like one of the best receivers in the league when he's healthy and on the field. Amendola is more like a complimentary type of receiver. He's not a 1 or 2 option. So a little bit of an overspending situation here, but still have a lot of respect for the guy. I still think he can bring a little bit to that Lions offense.
Yeah, I think this kind of is like them saying, all right, well, we need to replace Golden Tate, and this is how we're going to do it, at least for a year. I don't think this is going to be an impact move, but for all I know, he will probably dominate my Packers instead of Marvin Jones this year. So there's that. Craig Robertson re-signed with the Saints. I like this one, Carlos Hyde to Kansas City. I think that's an interesting move, kind of replacing Kareem kicker Hunt. That's an interesting move to me. Carlos Hyde kind of fall from grace coming from
the Ohio State University.
I hate Ohio State. Anyway, but yeah, coming especially from the 49ers, he was a premier back for them, and then gets traded to Jacksonville for nothing, and then now he's Kansas City. So I kind of like that move for them.
It's a good compliment to Damian Williams for sure. I think that kind of signals that they're going to use Williams a lot more in the passing game, and then Hyde is like the running back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has had some trouble with fumbling the ball, but yeah. I think with a lighter workload, he'll be all good. The legendary Frank Gore is going to Buffalo, probably to shore up the inside run game, especially with adding these 2 guys. But yeah, that's not a big move. Charles Clay is gone from Buffalo. Arizona, they're signing some vets here. They got Charles Clay and Brooks Reed and Terrell Suggs. Anybody else? No. But
do you have any news on what that Terrell Suggs? Is there a contract in place yet or no?
It said that he's going to agree, but I've still got not available.
Okay.
On this website that I'm looking at all of them at. So, but yeah, Terrell Suggs, unfortunately, is leaving Baltimore. But Arizona's coming in there with some veteran heat. Brooks Reed to come across the other side from Chandler Jones, which may mean that they're not going to get Nick Bosa number 1. I don't think this kind of signing signals that.
Yeah. But it's a good move because, they got a young head coach. So bringing in these veteran type guys really helps to establish a new culture in that locker room. So credit to them. But yeah, like you were saying, I don't know if that stunts Nick Bosa going number 1 or not. But at the same time, it's going to throw a little fuel to the fire of Kyler Murray going number 1 because Nick Bosa is not an immediate need now.
Yeah. Personally, I never really thought he was an immediate need for them, but
yeah,
that begs into the best player available debate. I like the move with Charles Clay there. He's a solid tight end. He'll help them. They got Ricky Seals-Jones, but they've never really had a good tight end. So this kind of
Jermaine Gresham.
Doo-doo. But yeah, and then Terrell Suggs, again, helping with the pass rush coming off the edge because he's still got some in the tank. He's 36, but, he's one of the greats in my book.
Oh, yeah.
And then Detroit, a couple of deals that they haven't solidified. Trey Flowers have got his years down. They haven't released the number. And Jesse James.
Oh, yeah, Jesse James.
The infamous no-catch Jesse James.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lions signed Levine Toilolo this year. He didn't do much, but I think he caught a touchdown against the Packers, so that's probably somebody who will screw us too. But, yeah, I mean, I already said C.J. Uzomah is going back to Cincy, so that's about all we got. Kevin Johnson's leaving Houston to Buffalo, but that's about all we got.
Before we move into our section of our team winners and losers.
There's some guys who haven't even been signed yet that I kind of wanted to touch on.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I got some breaking news to share.
Oh boy!
I got an alert on my phone that and this has nothing to do with football. I'm sorry, but sports related. Conor McGregor has been arrested for slapping a fan's phone out of their hands and stomping on it repeatedly. Says he was leaving his hotel in Miami, Florida. The fan kind of followed out with him and attempted to snap a picture of the man's, and McGregor was having none of that. So he slapped the phone out of the guy's hand, stomped on it, made sure it was broken, and went on his way. And apparently I don't think he's going to do any jail time, but something I wanted to point out, he's already been in the news or been in trouble with the law when he was throwing chairs and stuff at that bus. So now just another thing to kind of taint his legacy, so to speak. We can get back into the football stuff with your guys that you said were unsigned.
A phone? Really? A phone?
A phone.
Conor McGregor. I'm gonna do my Stephen A. Stay off the weed, bro. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some big names that I kind of want to get into that have been unsigned. Le'Veon Bell has not declared. I kind of figured he would go first day. Ziggy Ansah is now the top pass rusher available. You got Donkey Kong Sue. He's still there. I hate that man. So I'm going to call him Donkey Kong. Justin Houston, Earl Thomas, LaMarcus Joyner, and Adrian Amos. Those are your three safeties left. And I mean, Anderson Dayhoff got released, but he sucks butt. Anthony Barr, C.J. Mosley, your top two linebackers left, in my opinion. And you have Brandon Marshall from the Broncos.
Yeah.
And then Clinton Dix, he's still out there. Had to give a shout out to my boy. And Bradley Roby. So those are just some interesting guys. I mean, first of all, Le'Veon Bell, did you think that he was going to sign day one?
No. I think, and I don't think it's, I don't know how long it's going to take because obviously, I mean, the talent is there. This is one of the most talented running backs in the NFL right now. But, I mean, this guy literally just sat out a whole year because he couldn't get the contract he wanted, even though he was most likely, even if he did get a contract, it would have been like a one-year thing. He probably would have left in free agency like he is right now anyways. So teams are probably concerned about that, concerned about the fact that he wasn't on the field for an entire year. So I think it's delaying the process a little bit, but also at the same time, he probably has like 8 teams out there that are throwing money in it. Like, I feel like at this point it's like a bidding war, and he's just really trying to make the best decision for himself because obviously the situation in Pittsburgh was not good. It was very toxic, according to him and Antonio Brown. So I'm assuming that on top of multiple teams wanting to get their hands on him, he's going to take his time with this and make sure that he does the best move, for him.
I mean, he did put out a tweet that was like decisions with like a questioning face. I think it was the one with the monocle, but not important. Whatever emoji you used. I honestly kind of expected him to go day one because I feel like they were under the table talks, like agents and stuff that nobody knew about because
totally not tampering.
Yeah. But I kind of figured it would be like Le'Veon Bell signs with the Jets for like $100 million. Like I expected that headline today.
Yeah.
But you never know. It might come tomorrow or the day after that. Ziggy Ansah, I think, is going to be a guy that gets overpaid. Ndamukong Suh overpaid. I kind of want Justin Houston to go to the Packers. It depends who takes more money, him or Clay Matthews, just because I want that veteran pass rusher there. Earl Thomas, I think him, LaMarcus, Adrian, and Haha all just kind of rode the wave out because they knew Landon Collins was gonna get the bag.
Yeah.
So now that kind of puts their value up there. Earl Thomas is probably going to get 11 or 12. LaMarcus Joyner's probably get 10 or 11. Haha, 10 million. Amos will probably get 10 million too. So, I think it was smart for those guys not to sign, in my opinion. And then Anthony Barr, I don't even want to talk about him. Freaking shoulder gate. But CJ Mosley, I mean, I think we both kind of agree that he's going to be the highest paid linebacker whenever he gets his deal. I mean,
he's definitely going to pass Quan Alexander.
Yeah. Your dad made me laugh. All he thinks Conor McGregor could beat up or bust his phones. I'm dead.
True.
But yeah, Bradley Roby, Ronald Darby. I know Vincent hates Ronald Darby, so I won't talk about him. But yeah, I mean, those guys are just I think they're riding the wave out. Those second tier guys who weren't getting talked about, those guys are definitely waiting to see what the top tier guys were going to get and be like, oh yeah, well, he's this and I'm this, type of deal.
Yeah.
But I expect at least everybody that I put Le'Veon, Ziggy, those guys that I mentioned earlier, I expect all of those guys to be gone by Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe Wednesday. But now we're going to move into our 3 winners so far.
All right.
So I will start with that one. We share 2 of the same ones, so I will talk about one of them. I'll talk about the Raiders.
All right.
First and foremost.
Go ahead.
People clowned John Gruden hard, in my opinion. Kind of looking back at it, yeah, they didn't sign Khalil Mack, but I think if they sign him, they don't have the money to, re-sign AB, to sign Trent Brown, to do all these things, to probably sign, DK Metcalf or whoever they get, their 3 first-round picks. I mean, those guys cost a lot of money because of their first-round status. So I think that the Raiders, just in general, have had the best free agency / offseason so far, and people were clowning Gruden at the end of the year, but that man knows what he's doing. He's not going to let the 0-2 Buccaneers happen again, or 0-3, where they won Super Bowl tank. So,
yeah.
Yeah. And then one that I liked is the Cardinals. I think that they're doing a good job making, your big money moves, as well as these kind of smaller, bringing in these veteran guys that'll help bolster up that locker room that's going to be full of younger guys. They did lose Mike Upati, but he's an older guard, has battled with some injuries, and isn't really that good in the passing game, which they're going to need help in. I mean, they got Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald's on his last legs, and David Johnson, and that's about it. Now they have Charles Clay to help tight end position. So, I think the Cardinals, well, they probably won't be in playoff contention for 1 or 2 more years. Look out for those guys, because even if they only sign those vets for 1 year, and they could bring them back next year, but the culture that they establish lives on.
Very true. So the other team that we both agreed on for the winners, the Detroit Lions, and I know that pains you, a division rival there with your Packers. And I know that we both said, they might have overpaid for a couple of these guys that they brought in. But just without looking at the numbers, just looking at the names on the paper, the Lions definitely brought in a lot of help. Trey Flowers is going to be fantastic on their defensive line. Jesse James, going along with Levine Toilolo. I mean, that's 2 tight ends now they got. That's 2 options right there.
Those guys are huge.
Yeah, those are 2 big options for Matthew Stafford to throw to. And then Amendola in the slot, can't go wrong with that. They needed a replacement for Golden Tate. Every move the Lions have made so far has been a winning move, whether it be an overpaid situation or not. Luckily, with I believe Jesse James and Danny Amendola, it was both one-year deals anyways, so kind of, low risk, high reward type situations. And again, they've done the most out of that whole division so far, so got to give them credit. And then my other team that, again, I may have said did some overspending here and there, but has made some great moves is the Eagles. They re-signed Jason Peters. They, I want to say Brandon Graham was another guy that they re-signed. And then they go and they add Malik Jackson, bring back Deshaun Jackson. Some really solid moves from the Philadelphia Eagles. They also,
didn't overpay Nick Foles.
They didn't overpay Nick Foles, exactly. They let him go. They officially said Carson Wentz is our man, and that is how it's going to be from here on out. So the Eagles were some winners today. And I don't know if there's any more moves left for them to do, but just for the sake of today's free agency period, they did pretty damn good.
Yeah, I agree. Also, your dad said Detroit is where careers go to die. I will counter that and say that is Chicago. Well, it used to be. Maybe Detroit now. But you never know. It could be Green Bay soon, so watch out. But now our 3 losers. We, again, agree on 2 of them. I will start by saying that these guys right here freaking lost it for me. They didn't sign any big names, and it pissed me off to no avail. I've come to peace with the Landon Collins move because I realized that we need a zone covering safety, somebody that can pick a ball off in the middle of the field and be competent in coverage. While even if they do get beat, they can make a tackle. Because Kentrell Bryce, you suck. I hope you watch it, and I let you know that you suck. And Tramon Williams, retire. Drew knows how much I yelled at them this year.
Oh, dude, Tramon Williams was your best free agent signing last year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can shove that one up your butt. But yeah, my Packers let me down. They didn't make a big splash. But, I mean, that's for right now. I will save my judgment, especially because we're going to have like an off-season wrap-up episode.
For sure.
So, but for right now, Packers lost. And then I will talk about my other loser. Also, the Packers lost because teams in our division got stronger. And I think we didn't so far. So that's why we are behind right now. Another team that is a loser, in my opinion, is the Rams. They spent so much money this year, signing guys, Aqib Talib and Ndamukong Suh, they brought in Brandon Cooks. Did I say Marcus Peters?
No, you didn't know yet, but
yeah,
it's also another guy.
They had these guys, and then the Cardinals are getting stronger, the Niners are getting stronger, and they're letting a lot of guys walk. I mean, John Sullivan, yes, he's 34, but he was your starting center, played at a high level. Roger Saffold, starting left guard, played at a high level. He's gone. Andrew Whitworth is getting old. He may retire.
He did announce that he is playing again this year.
He's playing again, but I mean, again.
But he's old, yeah. I mean, he's like 39.
He's really old, and you never know how a guy like that might regress. Older guys, they can get injured more easily.
Yeah.
He's not like a grandpa going to break his hip, walking down the stairs. But, they didn't do anything to get better while everybody else around them got stronger.
Yep. So again, another team that me and Daniel both agreed on for the losers this time was the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna have a lot of fun talking about this because this is a team that was supposed to rival the New England Patriots year in and year out. These past 5 years, everyone's like, oh, they're gonna knock them off, they're gonna beat them, and either they didn't make it to where we made it, or when they did, they lost by like 20. So they were never really rivals with us to begin with. But they lose Le'Veon Bell to free agency. They lose Antonio Brown to trade with the Raiders. And when I understand his market, as everyone said, was third round pick, fifth round pick, the thing they got from the Raiders. That was his supposed market based on his age and other factors. The fact that he's kind of a drama queen. But when you think about the fact that they just lost their two best options on offense, and all they got out of it is a 3rd and 5th round pick, that is a major loss in my opinion. And yes, Juju Smith-Schuster is a very talented receiver, but something that you don't really factor in is, AB was probably taking on a lot of the double teams last year and the past 2 years. So Juju gets the benefit from stuff like that. But now that he's the number one guy, he's going to be the one, catching the double teams and stuff like that. So he's going to have to prove that he can get it done as the number one receiver. But I just think the Steelers took a major loss this offseason.
Yeah, Steelers suck. I'm ready for it. Brian, fight me, because I know he'll probably watch it. But yeah, I mean, the Steelers, they just took a huge L.
Yeah. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers has re-signed his State Farm agent, so it's a huge.
They're actually
move.
in a contract negotiation now. Just letting you know.
That's a huge. That's huge talks at Green Bay at this current time. So, props to them.
So you have you said. I'm interested to see why you said the Broncos.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot you already said the Rams, so I gotta go ahead. Yes, the Broncos were my other losing team in this free agency. The reason I say that is not that I expected them to do much, but all they've done so far is get Joe Flacco, who is very, very expensive for no reason. It's not going to make them any better than Case Keenum was doing. And then I believe Chris Harris Jr. is supposed to leave or get traded or something like that. I've heard.
Yeah, he's supposed to leave and trade. They're supposed to trade him.
Something like that. I mean, he is gone, or he's gonna be most likely. And then, I mean, the rest of their division has been getting a lot better. Trying to think, Chargers already really good. Raiders were trash. Now we're gonna be probably really good. And then the Chiefs, obviously, are still in that division. So my main reason for saying they're a loser is they've done absolutely nothing, and the rest of their division has gotten really stacked, or has stayed stacked, I guess, for the Chargers case. So that is why I decided to say the Broncos are a loser so far.
Yeah, I would even go as far to say that Von Miller individually and Bradley Chubb are losers, based on the fact that they are about to be the only two good defensive players on that team.
Yeah.
Which is a far fall from grace, because if they trade Chris Harris, Bradley Roby's leaving, Darren Stewart's gone, Brandon Marshall's gone, who do they have? Von Miller, Bradley Chubb.
And that's it. Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But we're nearing the end of the show, and I'm actually let you go first because I'm getting a call right now.
Oh yeah.
So I'll let you get a shout out, and I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Yeah. All right. So guys, hello. It's just me, obviously. So my shout out is offensive line coach. Oh wait, let's see. Hold on, before we go, this Broncos are looking to bring back Peyton's roids. Okay. Although never confirmed, I do believe Peyton did roids, but that is not the point. My shout out for this week is Patriots offensive line coach, or not this week, Monday. Patriots offensive line coach Dante Scarnecchia. Reason for this is this guy is getting his left tackles paid. Nate Solder last offseason, I believe, signed the biggest contract for a offensive tackle in free agency, and then so there was big controversy. Oh, he's going to play left tackle. Patriots go out and trade for Trent Brown, who is pretty much just kind of like a project because the 49ers did not, they didn't get really much out of him. So we traded for him, 3rd round pick. And then our first round pick, Isaiah Wynn, tore his Achilles in the offseason. So therefore, he didn't even play last year. Trent Brown has an amazing year all throughout the playoffs. That offensive line didn't give up. They gave up 1 sack in the Super Bowl. That was it for the entire playoffs. So Dante Scarnecchia is the man behind that offensive line, doing all the work there, getting them ready. He really formed Trent Brown into special talent, and I mean the dude just got the biggest contract for an offensive tackle. So that is why I wanted to give big props to that man, because it's unlike the it's not that he gets commission for these types of things. It's not like a car dealership or something like that. But if it was possible for him to get commission on these fat contracts, he definitely deserves it. Daniel has returned with a wardrobe change, so.
Tar Heels, baby. That's my shout out for the week. Shout out to Kenny Williams, Cam Johnson, Luke May. Love you guys. You guys have given so much to the program. Cam for 2 years, Luke and Kenny for all 4. Coming out, smacking the Blue Devils again. Oh, no Zion. We didn't have him either, so suck it. All right, go Tar Heels. Be a 1 seed. I don't really care if we win NCAA or ACC tournament, because Duke's won it however many times, and Roy has more championships than Krzyzewski since he's been the coach at Carolina. So go Tar Heels. They're winning it all. But yeah, I mean, that's about all I got. Love the boys in blue. I'm excited for whenever I get my Tyler Hansbrough jersey. But yeah, but thank you guys all for stopping by, hanging out with Friends with Attitude. We love all you guys. Fans with Attitude. Love all you guys. Make sure you comment down below anything you like, suggestions, comments, questions, concerns. Doesn't matter. If you think I'm ugly, let me know. It's okay. Drew does it enough.
Yeah. Also, be ready for. I'm just gonna say it on here. I'm gonna say it on Thursday as well. Next Monday we have a special guest and just an announcement in general. Be ready for that. It's gonna be a very fun show. But obviously, come back on Thursday as well. We'd love to chat with you guys and keep doing what we love. So thank you for all the support. Thank you for agreeing with me that Daniel is very ugly.
That's my aunt. I share a birthday with her. So Tara, no, I'm coming. But yeah, thank you guys all. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends,
spread the word, share it on Facebook.
You guys, like, subscribe, share it on Facebook, join our Facebook page. I invited literally everybody on my friends list. If you are watching this and you haven't liked the page back or followed, I'll find you. But yeah, that's all we got. Turn on your notifications for when we go live in the future. But that's it for me.
And don't forget, don't take pictures of celebrities if they don't want you to, or they'll slap your phone out of your hand. That is all I have. Have a great night, and we will see